What's going on, you guys? So here at YCS Pasadena 2022, boy, Ishizu, you already know.
Yeah.
And we are here with Mr. Howdy Neighbor himself. One of my favorite people of all time in this game, Mr. Avery Foster. Fresh off top 16.
Yep.
Great to have you back.
Yeah, good to be back. Definitely didn't test as much as I probably should have for this event, but the trip was kind of last minute, so didn't really have like too much time to figure it out. But all in all, I'm happy with the deck I came out to. First off, I'm going to give out some shout outs. Biggest shout outs go to Dom and Kobe and Jesse. Even though I ended up with a different list than Dom and Jesse, they helped me a lot, and Kobe too. They helped me a lot with like catching up to speed, because Thursday night was the first time I saw a Tearlaments or Sprite card in like real life.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't been playing, so they did a good job like catching me up and getting me to the point where I could actually like think on my own again. So yeah, biggest shout outs to them. Outside of that, shout outs to
Bam.
best team, best sponsor, Dragon Shield, BC Player Gemtech, for on the boy. That's about it. I'm sure I'm leaving someone out, and I'll figure it out as we go.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
So, you have a couple normal summons in the deck that aren't just your Merlin Rhino. So, you play one Diviner. I think most people understand why this is good. You play two World Soul Carbon.
What in the world?
So, what this card does is you contribute summon this normal summoner set card, which means if it sets and get flipped, that's never happening. So, you summon this, tribute it, search an Earth Fairy. That may not seem like that good, but a lot of the times you don't actually need your normal summon in this deck to play. So that's another effect where if it's in your graveyard and a face-up fairy leaves the field, goes to the graveyard, you can stack it on top of your deck. So what you end up doing a lot of the time is this gets milled or at some point during the turn, or it gets pitched off of like a Keldo or Mudora, because we are playing those and we're playing the Exchange of the Spirit package. This card will allow you to stack on top of the deck to get the missing piece. So it makes it that if you mill Exchange of the Spirit, if you mill Gravekeeper's Trap, or you can get to one or the other, you'll more consistently get to both, which is just the blowout in the mirror. I think total I played against 11 Ishizu tier over the course of this tournament. So yeah, like it's insane in the mirror. Some people don't realize is like Gravekeeper's Trap is crazy against other decks too. Like against Sprite, I didn't go for a regular board because like if they have weird board breakers to break it, it's not the same. So effectively what I did is I would just summon like 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, like huge vanillas with like follow-up, and I would just mill like 20 cards from their deck, 25 cards from their deck, and they just can't play. It's like that with like any rogue deck, like you can't send that many cards to their deck to the graveyard. This was especially good in my deck for a reason I'll show y'all like later on.
Bang.
But sorry, I had a lot to say about that card.
That card's
insane.
Nice. What the heck?
Yeah. So I played 3 Orange Light. Card's like kind of mid, but it negates Spooky Dogwood. And like, no, seriously, like it just like it stops you from losing games in time. So card's good. Outside of that, I mean, it has like applications of being like a decent card. As far as being a non-engine card, it's like kind of below average to me. Like against everything but the mirror, I think this card overperforms because you pitch a mill guy, blow them out. But like the mirror is like the entire room, so it's like below average. But I think it needed to be in the deck list. But I didn't think I had room for it in my side, so it ended up in my main. Then we maxed on all these.
Oh, weird. All these Ishizu cards.
Yeah. So these cards are God cards because they get you to these. Little known fact, because like a lot of people like had to read my cards, didn't know it. This can search either of these. So anytime you open this or Carbon, like later on, it just becomes really easy to like play your turn, stack Carbon, draw Carbon, tribute it, add Keldo, special Keldo, add exchange, effect, pitch. Or even if you didn't have like an Earth Fairy just sitting in your hand, this gets activated face up, use its effect this turn, you just put exchange of the spirit in like your opponent's turn. This is extra important for something I played in my deck, so I'm just gonna keep it off to the side here. These guys are really good. There's a big debate about, haha, I'm never milling my opponent's deck 10 cards. I almost always mill my opponent's deck 10 cards. One, because if the game state gets really, really complicated, if I think I'm better than my opponent, then I have a better chance of winning. I'd rather both of us have many cards than both of us have few cards.
Yeah.
So, that's the reason. Also, these cards are dummy important for something you'll see later. So once again, keeping these to the side.
Yeah.
Because I have an alternate win condition. 3, 3, 3, 1. Standard-ish. I'm playing Carbon and Diviner and Merly. I didn't want more normal summons in my hand. Card's good. I don't think 2 more is bad, but I want to keep the deck at 40. So outside of the Exchange of Spirit, I played 1 Solic, 1 Instant Fusion, 3 Pro Areno. Card's dumb important in the mirror because it's like an out to mine with the shuffle guys, and it's just constant pops during both people's turns. Now that the shuffle guys exist, it's just so consistent. You'll have a random body on board. I did that in my top 16 match, where my opponent ended up with my Merly on his field at the end of his turn. And yeah, during the battle phase, you shuffle guys, shuffle your own thing back from graveyard, Pro Arena, pop my own card, triggered it. There's so many niche things. Something cool about this that a lot of people don't realize, you have to know game mechanics and how chains work. So if 2 players have Pearl Arena, turn player always loses. Because regardless of what their Pearl Arena pops, channeling 2 as non-turn player will target your Pearl Arena. So food for thought, boys.
Food for thought. You're not that retired.
All right. And then something that's gonna be yeah, sure, click away, but I'm gonna go into an explanation on it. Is I played 3 Mystic Mine, set rotation, and terraforming. So this, standard Mystic Mine things makes you win unwinnable games, right? But in my deck, it does something very, very different. So, due to the nature of Exchange of the Spirit and this, or just Gravekeeper's Trap, they can't draw their out. So they can't draw Heartbeat. I know you're thinking, sometimes they have multiple outs. Most sides especially, they have multiple outs. They only have, if this is active, they have about 2 to 2.5 turns, between the 2 of you, to win the game, or they will deck out. Because what you constantly do is every single main phase, add 1 of these, send the other one. Usually want to keep more of these in deck if possible until Exchange of Spirits in the grave. Once Exchange of Spirits in the graveyard, you send this because it's 10 cards off your opponent's deck continuously. So you just almost always deck them out. Something you can even do, even if you don't have immediate access to this, is I had a round where I decked him out with mine, where he had outs in deck, with 3 minutes on the clock, and I burned through his entire deck, because what you can just do with the Ishizus is special summon Keldo, pitch 1 of these, mill 5. Something important to know about my deck too, you might say, well, I don't want to rely on drawing my 1-of trap. You don't have to draw the 1-of trap, because with Keldo and Udora, what you do is you summon them, search the Gravekeeper's Trap, and because you're turn player, you have the ability to activate an effect first. So immediately on summon, while Mystic Mine's up, so they can't respond with something, they can't do something to out the mine, out your monsters, whatever. So immediately on summon, effect, and they're back under mine.
And they're stuck, yeah.
So yeah, deck out's a very real win condition, even though it's everyone plays outs to mine, everyone plays Heartbeat. Doesn't matter. This is the reason that a casino deck turns 0. I will mill them for however many cards they want. Feel free to summon stuff, because I play this. So they summon monsters on turn 0, and I say thumbs up, activate Mystic Mine, beat comp, and then the game is over.
Yeah.
Heartbeat better be in your hand.
It has to be in your hand or you're dead.
If I'm given the option to, I'm sorry.
I was my cards!
If I'm giving the option to play an actual game, I will, because it's not I draw an out, but this is a very, very good win condition. Also, it does something weird to their siding patterns if you deck them out game 1, because I decked out 11 games when I deck out this tournament. it introduces a very weird dynamic into it because they don't want to have like Twister in their deck going first against the most powerful deck in the room.
Yeah, that's
So it's like a weird balance to where even if they say, all right, I'm gonna side 1 or 2 extra outs, their deck just isn't what it needs to be, and they're like, all right, well, I want to search Heartbeat because I want to have the out to mine. All right, then like I'm just gonna play Tearlaments, it's the most powerful deck, and you just made a shitty board.
Yeah.
So, all right, so next card, Gigantic Abyss Dweller. So Gigantic is because I played double elf. Common play you do, because I see a lot of people cut the second elf and like, oh yeah, you don't need it anymore because why would you play Gigantic? You don't play any sprites or anything. So a lot of times you have like a random Sharon and a random Merly, whether you're going first or second. You can turn them into elf, bring back the Merly, overlay both into Gigantic. Use Gigantic effect, detach, summon Diviner. And then you can do one of 2 things. You can send one of the shuffle guys so that it's in the graveyard for next turn. Or if they have a board, you can send the Elder Entity Natis. That's in my deck. The cool part of this, you can shuffle it back, do it every turn. Most of the time, I didn't send this turn 0. But you can, because if you like target one of their tier element monsters on board, Gigantic's resolved. Nice effects, bro.
Nice effect.
So yeah, it overperformed. Like I wish. So I didn't play Zeus. I wish I had room for Zeus. There's some arguments to cutting other stuff, but I don't know. I didn't have room for Zeus. This is the extent of my exceeds. All right. Baron, the last links, these 3. Wish I had room for Alsa, same as like Zeus, same as like Exciton, but I didn't have a good map out to Avermax. It never happened. Made this card once though, it was really good when I made it. I guess this like could be the spot for Zeus, but I'm not sure. This is an easier out. Fusion monsters. Here we go. Pretty standard-ish. Don't think you need 2 of this. People are like, oh, well, what if they like Bestial this? It's like, well, they probably had to Bestial a name before that too. So that means that if they double Bestialed me, and I'm not able to make a play that turn anyways, I don't think I can win either way.
Yeah.
Like, that's a game I probably wasn't playing, so the fact that my Kick House is gone probably doesn't matter. Didn't play Mud Dragon because I have no Bestials in my deck list. The only way to summon it would be like Karura and another Dark.
Yeah.
Or I guess Drake's probably another Dark, but that's just not good. Alright, for the side deck. Let me get this in order. I sided 3 tactics. Mirror going first and second, Sprite going second. Card solid. Not really much to say. 3 skill drain. Wish I could tell you how this was. Never drew it. In theory, it's good against everything other than the mirror.
Yeah.
I guess biggest theory on it is like gives you a win con against Flunder when you get shifted. Because I don't play Baguska, so it's like another card that helps. I sided the Heartbeat. Mystic Mine out. Good going second. Didn't really want to draw it going first unless they possibly had Mystic Mine in their deck. So I preferred it as a side deck card. Crime, 3 Twisters. Only wanted this going first. I don't play Scream, so like this card like heavily underperforms like compared to the normal deck, but it's still good to have in your deck going first. If I had another card that I like need to side, it probably could have been cut, but the card was still good. Twisters, not much to say. I wanted some type of back row removal. I think I sided in once against Rika.
Once in Rika.
And yeah, that I believe is it.
Love to see it, man. Love to see a different take. Definitely, this is a different take. A lot of these profiles have been very different, but I think yours is definitely the most unique. And I really just love to see when players, add more stuff to it. So, congratulations on top 16. I think.